Clean slate, clean slate. What's going on, guys? It's 5:41 in the morning on a Tuesday, December 16th. We're actually coming back from a trip to New York for about a week where we kind of isolated ourselves. We kind of went to, I wouldn't say the woods, but definitely a good spot in New York that has a forest and everything. And it was honestly incredible. But um, just wanted to make a quick video to just show you guys where we're at. But right now we're working with a company that is doing insane numbers, really, really good numbers. And this is our first, I guess you could say, test at truly seeing what we got, right? AST, Sales.io, some of the other guys that I worked with before in the past, those relationships more or less discontinued, or if that even makes sense. And it was in a case where obviously we equally, I wouldn't say gone the separate ways, but more or less I knew that there is more things out there outside of what I was doing. And ultimately, sometimes you got to get out of the nest, right? Because those were the flagship people that I worked with. And I absolutely love everything that they're doing now. And I want to thank them for everything that they've done for me and the confidence they gave me to get up and do this on my own and figure it out. But right now we're working with an incredible company that I can truly feel like a creative. And that's something that I struggle with some of the other people that I worked with before, is feeling like I truly had full reins to my own creative aspect. And so with this company, like, I've worked with them already. I've done a lot of video shoots with them. We've been to Texas, been to Orlando, been to San Francisco. We went to a bunch of different places to record, and their leadership just genuinely understands like the idea. I guess you could say guerrilla marketing, but just doing things that dance on the gray line a bit. So that's part of the reason why I'm just so excited. Now, if we were to even recap this entire year, I couldn't even tell you, right? There's so much that happened, so much good, so much bad, so much good things that turn into bad, but bad things that turn into good. But if there's one thing I could say, this was the foundational year. This was the setting the foundations. This was setting the foundations for what I call 2026 to be the breakout year. 2026 will be the year that every creative or every person with a career goes through, where everything just works because they've established years and years and years of practice, failures, getting up again, just having that dog in them. And I know without a doubt this will be the year. This year was a case where I learned a lot more than I could even imagine. Like, to give you guys context, the beginning of the year I was in the military, and I made a decision to literally walk away from it. And in a way that, part of me is proud of, but part of me also is like, I made a decision that was, I wouldn't say selfish, but it's not a favorite decision. And I have to live with that. But at the end of the day, like, I knew I made the decision that was right for me internally, and it's something that I know when I'm 80 years old and I'm sitting in my deathbed, one, nobody's going to care, and two, I'm the only one that's going to care. So I don't want to be the person in my deathbed just saying, what if I just did this? What if I went for it? And that's come with so much uncertainty. That's another thing in the space that a lot of people don't tell you, is like, when you get into this, like, you don't know when your next paycheck's going to be. You don't know when this paycheck's going to come in. You don't know when you're going to get paid off of something. And so you're just learning as you go, and you're just learning about what it takes to truly be, I guess, a businessman, truly be an entrepreneur, somebody that can dog out the weather, can dog out the good months, can dog out the bad months. And that's just the way of the beast. But not many people tell you that. And so that's part of the reason for any of you guys out there that are interested in getting into the online space, just know it's not a 9-to-5. It is not. But what I can and guarantee you is it will be the most fulfilling thing you ever do, because you're truly working on your own schedule. You're truly being your own boss. You're basically a captain of your ship, and you're steering it whatever way you want. And if you let the wind take you one way, it'll go and take you to Africa. But if you let if you tighten up your sails, if you steer the right way, you might actually get to where you want. You might actually get to, who knows, Spain or something like that. But that's what I'm saying when it comes to this. Like, the online space teaches you a lot about yourself, and it truly teaches you, like, you are, like, if you don't make something work, nobody's going to hold your hand. Nobody's going to come back for you. Nobody's going to save you. So it's just something that I realized and I learned. And I'm so grateful for getting let go. I'm so grateful for walking away from things. I'm so grateful for saying no to things, because I used to say no. I used to say yes to so many things. But now I'm in the season where I understand the power of saying no, the power of saying I can't truly do that, the power of saying, yes, this could be great for my portfolio, but I've said that for the past 3 years. So I know without a doubt there comes a time where I need to respect exactly who I am as a person. I respect the craft that I do have, and know that there's people out there that will value that in a way larger fashion than anyone else. And that's part of the reason why this year is going to be so great, because the amount of effort that I'm putting in, especially the company that I'm working with right now, and the amount of things that I got in store for you guys, and the amount of things I'm learning, like, it makes for such an incredible life. It makes such for an incredible movie. Like, life really starts when you leave that job. Life really starts when you leave that 9 to 5, because you will figure out so much things about yourself that you don't even know until you're out of that 9 to 5. You will learn about how to fend for yourself, truly, truly. You will learn about how to communicate well, truly, truly. You'll learn about how to respect your time, truly, truly. And you just get into this mode where you're just like, man, it is now or nothing, baby. Let's thug it out. Let's figure it out. Well, how beautiful is that you can go through that? And that's what a 9 to 5 doesn't give you. 9 to 5 doesn't give you that, because it will always give you that comfort knowing that you're always going to get paid at the end of the month. And that's what the military killed me about. It killed my soul, because when I got out, I had this feeling where I still felt like I was obligated to get paid, regardless of how good I do. So that's the one issue with the military that I realized when I had to get out. That's the one thing I had to get rid of, is the mindset that I'm always going to get paid regardless of how good or bad I do. It's a lie. Your reputation's more important in this life, in this industry, and everything in regards to just entrepreneurship. Your reputation is everything. And if you don't provide the value that you say you're going to provide, and you think about it in the sense where you're just an employee, you're not going to get far. And that's the issue that I learned the moment I left the military, that I had to completely get rid of. And you can argue saying, oh, well, if you're in the military, you should have served like hell and you should have done everything you needed to do. But at the end of the day, too, a lot of military members know this, is like, you can put in as much effort as you need, but you'll know that somebody else will literally benefit off of what you do, in the sense where it's just like, they'll take all the credit, everything. And a lot of the times your enlisted crew, they don't get seen the way they should. So it's just like, there's just certain things to understand. But the last thing I'd say is, getting close to God has been the biggest thing in my life that has just absolutely changed it upside down. To know that there's somebody out there in this world that loves me more than I love myself is something that I'm still wrapping my head around, and I'll never wrap my head around it, right? Because that's something even in the Bible, like, it's best not to, you will never understand the love he has for you until you're obviously in that position when your time is up. And even in some cases, like, you can truly feel it in your soul where you're like, God loves me, God looks out for me, he gives me everything that I need, and I understand that and I feel that in my soul. It's just a beautiful thing, though. It is insane. Because I remember being very, not against it, but I would make jokes about it. I had somebody that I knew in the military very well that was very religious, and I would always make jokes because I was hiding the fact that I couldn't see myself having a relationship with him when I had so much bad. And to find out that at the end of the day, like, he is going to be there in every step, and he has been there for everything, and all those little things that you got gifted, and all those little moments that you felt like were impossible, but he made it possible. He was there, and I didn't realize that. I remember too how it worked out, because it was around January, February time frame. I was still doing sales, but then internally I gave up. I gave up on sales, and part of me wishes I can go back, but at the end of the day, like, I'm already doing better things. But I remember at that time I was struggling really hard internally and just couldn't figure out anything. I just left the military. I had to go back home, live with mom and dad, and I just thought, man, did I really fumble? Like, I should have had everything lined up. I should have got out of the military and got an apartment and got my own things and been on my own. And I didn't. And I wasn't doing good with sales, and everything was kind of like piling down on me. And I remember sitting in my car one of these days, and I was just like, Lord, if you're there, if you're truly real, give me some sort of sign. And keep in mind, like, I don't get any signs. I don't get anything crazy. I don't get people coming up to me or anything like that. And I kid you not, the next day I went to work at a co-working space, and I left my car, and I left it unlocked. And I went to sit down at the co-working space. I realized, I was like, fuck, my car's unlocked. And so I went back to lock it. And the moment I walked out of the doors, somebody kind of like touched my hand, and he was like, and it was like this young kid my age, and he was like, sir, have you more or less gotten close with God? And it was kind of polarizing. I was like, nobody's ever asked me that. Nobody's ever came up to me asking about that. And I literally said the day before, if you are real, show me a sign. And that shit hurt. That shit hit like a rock, because I was like, this cannot be a coincidence. This isn't the algorithm telling me this. It's like, this cannot be a coincidence. And I remember talking to him, and I was just like, you don't understand. Like, I prayed about this yesterday. And I remember sitting in my car, and I was kind of shaking. Like, I was just like, I just didn't know what to say. Like, I felt like I was caught, like, with my pants down. I was like, and ever since then, things started kind of coming up a little bit more. Things started coming up in the sense where religion was talked about a lot more. And I still was like, and it took one of basically my brother, Joshua Mendoza, which he's another Mendoza, to literally tell me, to literally like say like, hey, why don't you just come with church with me? And we ended up going, and I remember those first few sessions, I was crying. Because everything that I was thinking about internally, everything that was going wrong, the pastor just ripped into it. And I was like, dude, I was like, how do you just know? Like, how do you know? And one thing led to another, and I got baptized at that church. I still go to that church to this day. We go every Sunday. I live with two other guys that are honestly my rock. They're the people that I know without a doubt my kids will know who Uncle Josh is, or Uncle Simon, and it's a beautiful thing. And I never couldn't have expected to have such an incredible life that I have now. Like, I have a roof over my head, I have good food, I have people I work with almost every day, and we're in the greatest position ever. Like, Josh does operations, Simon does sales, I do marketing. Like, we are literally the dynamic trio. And the fact that I'm around good people, that every Sunday we go and play baseball outside or football, and then in the afternoon we'll make steaks and we'll just talk shit, have fun. It's like, this is making for that breakout year. And I cannot be more excited. So if you're seeing this, and at the end of the day, you might have watched me for years, or you might have just seen my page. You might be in the beginning stages, or you might be in the exact same stage I am. Make this year count. Understand what you did this year 2025. Understand what you did specifically that you don't want to do, again, fix that, and put a stake in your name saying 2026 is going to be the year that changes everything. Because 2025 was that year for me, and now 2026 is the turn up year. It's the year where we're shaking shit up. So aside from that, wish all you guys the best. From the top of the world, boundaries still don't exist. The bottom of the depths where life still lives. Do you dare to dream? See y'all later.